This is a remake of the Adidas Predator Absolute, which is back for the first time in 14 years. It was the hot stuff back in 2006, but the question is if it also works 14 years after in 2020. Well, let me tell you everything you need to know about this bad boy, and then of course also take a look at the Copa Mundial remake that's also a part of the Adidas Eternal Pack. So, Eternal Pack, Jay, what is that? Well, as the name kinda suggests, Adidas have brought back some Eternals or Evergreens or basically football boots whose legend will kinda never die. And that pack features the Predator Absolute here and the Copa Mundial original uppers, but on modern toolings, or modern outsoles if you will, to let players in 2020 also experience those OG classic vibes, but without the drawback of the slightly heavier and bulkier outsoles that we saw back in the day. And that's a pretty cool concept, and also, they don't look half bad in white either. Of course, the Predator Absolute 20 here features, as we've kinda gotten used to, a complete one-to-one recreation of that OG upper, meaning that you still get a very soft and pliable kangaroo leather forefoot, you get your synthetic midfoot and heel, you get your leather strap with the elasticated rubber band, and then of course you have your mandatory Predator elements. Now on the Absolute here, Adidas changed up things a little bit because they split the boots into two zones. You have the swerve zone here, where they went in and made the rubber elements a bit more low profile, but still relatively soft and pretty grippy on the ball. And then they introduced us to the power zone, for whatever reasons, where they have what they call liquid rubber strips here to give you a bit more grip and, I guess, power. Now, how does the power zone work and how are the strips supposed to help you shoot harder? I have absolutely no idea, but you still get a little bit of extra grip, so stop complaining. But apart from the Predator elements, that's always the star of the show, the other big feature on the Absolute was the Power Pulse Insole, which was this weighted element on the insole that was supposed to give you a bit more momentum and weight behind your shots. But since Adidas decided to use the Predator 20 tooling on the remake here, obviously Power Pulse hasn't been brought back. Is that a shame? Well, yeah, kinda, because it was a pretty cool and unique feature, but to be honest, I always ended up switching to the normal, non-Power Pulse insole anyway, so I'm not that mad after all. With that said, the new Predator 20 tooling has that split design. It has, well, basically based its heel counter design off of the Absolute, so it looks like it's made for the boot, and then again, it's a lot lighter. So I can kinda live with the exclusion of Power Pulse. Some people won't be happy, but that's the way it is. Still get everything else. Of course, as always with the remakes, the devil is kinda in the detail for real Pred heads. And the good thing is that this has been done properly. So Adidas have brought back the textile mesh underneath the Predator fins. You get the little lace loops that were also on the original, and even the oval-shaped lace holes on top of the collar are still there. And yes, they're details, but it's a thing Adidas could just have said, we don't really care. But they've come through this time, and it seems whoever's doing these projects is just really obsessed with doing it right. Now, as for the fit in these bad boys, I haven't tried them myself because they're way too big for us. But PWG, who's tried them, says that they fit a little bit on the roomy side, so he could go down half a size and still get the same comfortable sensation as he did back in the day. Phil also tells me that you still get that solid and punchy sensation when you strike the ball, and there remains a little bit of grip and bite when you try to put swerve on it as well. With that said, the Absolute is probably the one out of the old Predators that has the least aggressive bit of grip on the ball. and it's nothing, of course, compared to the Predator 20. But if you loved the Absolutes back then, I reckon that this remake is gonna take you right back to 2006 and all those memories. And okay, I think someone like Zinedine Zidane want to forget at least some of the memories wearing these. But apart from that complete meltdown in the World Cup final, I distinctly remember the Absolutes for Zidane just tearing things up, rocking them. But let's not forget the Copa Mundial 20, which I think is the first time we've seen the old Opera on new tooling remake of the Copa Mundial, and the result is actually pretty good, I reckon. Now, the Copa Mundial is a true evergreen, a true eternal, and I reckon you know at least someone who's worn the Copa Mundial even today. And there's a reason for that, because it just works. But what Adidas have done is taken all the old school elements, more or less at least, and then slapped it on the Copa 20 tooling. And the result is, I would say to me, surprisingly good. Because since the leather is even softer than back then, seriously, it's buttery soft, and you still get that lovely evergreen fit in the Copa Mundial, but on a lighter tooling that feels a bit more stable, this is just a nice OG vibe with a bit of a modern twist. They also, of course, changed the tongue. It's slightly shorter now and looks like what it looked like back in the day when you cut it off. And I know the Copa Army won't appreciate what I'm gonna say here, but I always hated it flapping around, so I always cut it off. So I'm good. Sorry, guys. So yes, the Copa Mundial remake is solid. It's decent, I think people will like it, but for me the star of the Eternal Pack is the Predator Absolute remake. I think the white colorway here looks cool. Personally, I would have loved for Adidas to bring this one back, the OG, but I mean, this looks pretty cool in action and the Absolute is back, so I'm not gonna complain. If you also love it and you want to be taken back to 2006, you can actually buy the Predator Absolute remakes on unisportstore.com via the link right over there. Of course, you can also go subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. Let me know what you think of these in the comment section right down below, and then go improve as a baller in the playlist right down there. With that said, guys, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.